Hey guys, welcome to the Chapter 8 video on, I think Chapter 8 was on polynomials. Okay, so we have to know how to distribute, add like terms, multiply, factor, all that good stuff. So first of all, distribute and combine like terms. So this is where you guys multiply and distribute, and then we're going to add like terms. All right, so when you multiply, it's going to be 10a to the fifth plus 4a to the third, and then you're distributing a minus sign, so it's minus 4a to the fourth, but then minus a minus becomes a plus 3a to the third. And then you're just going to add like terms, but remember, you can only add terms if they have the same exponent. So these are the only ones that you can add together. Okay, so this one stays 10a to the fifth. This one stays minus 4a to the fourth, but these, if you add them together, there's now 7 of them. So plus 7a to the third. And don't add the powers. The like term stays the same. Okay, so number 2 is very similar. We can skip that one. Now multiplying. Same idea. We're going to distribute, distribute, distribute. Now when you multiply exponents of the same base, you actually add them. So 5 times 3 is 15, but now you're adding the ends, and there's 5 total. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20, but if you add the ends, there's now 4 of them. And then 5 times negative 9 is minus 45, and there's none to add, so there's still just the original 3. Okay, so you multiply but add, multiply then add, multiply then add, but there's none to add. Now number 4, when you're multiplying two binomials, you got to distribute this one, but then you also have to distribute or multiply this one. Some of you also made boxes for these. So you can also do it that way. All right, but I'm just going to do it this way for now. 2x times 5x is 10x squared. 2x times 2 is plus 4x. Negative 7 times 5x is negative 35x. Negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. And then remember, there's like terms. If you were doing the box, they would be along the diagonal. These are like terms. So now it's 10x squared. If you add these, it's minus 31x and then the minus 14. All right, now number 5, how about I do in the box? So you make a box, and it's 5x minus 8, 5x plus 8. And really, this is exactly what we did here. It's just in a box instead. So you're still doing 5x times 5x is 25x squared. You're still doing 5x times negative 8, which is negative 40x. You're still doing 5x times negative 8, and that's 40x. And you're still doing negative 8 times 8, which is negative 64. You're doing the same stuff. But now these are the like terms. So you add those together, but in this case they actually cancel. So final answer is 25x squared minus 64. And then number 6, we don't have to do it, but whenever it says squared, you need to just write it twice. And now you guys can pick. Do you want to do the double rainbow, distribute, or would you rather make a box and just multiply inside? But any way you guys do it, I'll let you choose. You will end up with 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 in the end. Okay, so whatever method you choose, you will end up with this answer. I didn't show the work though. Okay, moving on. Now, all the factoring. We did so much of this. There's GCF. Always do this first. So if you guys ever have common factors, you want to divide them out. So what can we divide out of these guys? Out of 3 and 12, we can divide them both by 3. You take out the smallest amount of x's, which is 1, and the smallest amount of y's, which is y2. And then now you're actually going to divide it out. So 3 divided by 3 is 1. When you divide exponents, you subtract. 1 minus 1 is 0. 4 minus 2 is y2. Minus 12 divided by 3 is 4. When you subtract the x's, there's 1 left. When you subtract the y's, there's none left. So that's factoring out the GCF. Okay, when there are trinomials, you use the box method, right? MA table box. So trinomial box method is when there are 3 terms. And actually, I see that we're going to do that here. And I also just realized that we're going to do this one here. Okay, so we'll just do this one here now. Okay, 3 terms. We do MA table and box. We need 2 numbers that add to 5 but multiply to 14. Remember, you got to multiply these to get the multiply. All right, what are 2 numbers that multiply to 14 but add to 5? And that does not look like it's going to work. I'm going to call typo on this one and say that this should actually be a negative and a negative, which would make this a negative. Okay, 2 numbers that multiply to negative 14 but add to 5 are 7 and negative 2. Okay, so in our box, the first term goes here, the last term goes here, and these guys go here and here with x's. All right, now we do GCF. GCF here is 7. GCF here is 2x. GCF here is 1x. GCF here is minus 1. And these black ones are your final answer in the parentheses. It's 2x plus 7 and x minus 1. That's factoring the trinomials. Okay, now when there are 4 terms, this is when you do factor by grouping. And we're going to be doing that one down here. So we have more room. This is where you guys group them together. And you factor out the GCF of each pair. So these guys have a GCF of 1x squared. And if you divide it out, you're left with 1x plus 3. Now these guys have a GCF of minus 4. And if you divide that out, you're left with 1x plus 3. And you know that if they have a common factor, then you're not done. You pull that out. And the second parenthesis goes here. X squared minus 4. And now you're done. Okay, now number 10. This is a combo problem that you guys kind of had trouble with. This one, there's a GCF right away. So 12 and 27, you can divide out a 3. And if you divide out a 3, you're left with 4x squared minus 9. Now, we're not done because this can factor more. So remember we said if you have two terms, you could just rewrite it with a 0x and then just do MA box for this. Okay, so that's one option. Another option is this is actually the difference of two squares. So you could actually get the answer right away. The square root of 4x squared is 2x and 2x, and the square root of 9 is 3 and 3, and one's always plus and one's minus for this. But you would get the same answer if you added the 0x and did the MA table. All right, so final answer is the 3 that you originally took out, and then it's going to be 2x plus 3, 2x minus 3. This was kind of a harder one. All right, guys, that was Chapter 8, Polynomials. Thanks for watching.